Hello everyone, my name is Joe and welcome to today's video. And today I want to show you 10 tips and tricks that I found for building and I'd like to share it with you. And here I have 10 laid out and let's start from the beginning. So the first trick that I want to show you is phasing between blocks. So, in case you don't know this trick, you can place a cobblestone wall or a fence, and if you drop a gravity block like gravel, sand, or concrete powder, and drop it from two high blocks, you can get this glitch effect. And what it essentially does, you can walk and phase through the block. How you can use this is I made it this way as a tunnel. So you can have a one block tunnel without using command blocks. And this would be really useful for adventure maps in case you, for example, press effect and give if you give the player like slowness and give it like 1 million. And you can give like a slowness effect. And in case you're in an adventure map and uh, making command blocks to crawl is really hard. So you can make this tunnel and maybe like give slowness. Man, I made myself too slow. Anyways, you can give yourself slowness as you were walking through tunnels, and this could be dark in like a prison break map or something like that. And I really want to drink a milk bucket because this is like I'm looking through a telescope. What is wrong? Drinking milk is not making it go. Anyways, moving on to the next trick is about watering your crops. So, watering your crops, you always have like a water block to hydrate them, and you can either place a glowstone under the water to make it glow and give off some light if you want to hide your lighting, or you can use carpets, which is a really unused method to hide water for crops. And how you can do this is place a carpet like this and shift and try to place it from that little edge. And if you can do it right, you can get it onto the water. And from there, you can place it from the edge and yeah, just cover all the water blocks that you have. Or since the feature in 1.18 that you can waterlog blocks, you also have the option to choose stairs. You also have the option to put stairs and waterlog them. This doesn't make you fall, and at the same time it also hydrates your crops. So here are three methods for it. Moving on to the next one is custom trees. Now, custom trees, you can decorate custom trees in a whole ton of ways. And the first one that I want to talk about is vines. Now, just throwing around vines like in random places onto a tree makes it seems like it's overgrown and gives it a bit more texture. And also you can mix up a whole bunch of leaf types. So as you can see here, I mixed up the jungle leaves, spruce leaves, birch leaves, and the oak leaves. And these give a whole lot of variation to your custom tree. Also, you can use slabs of spruce and maybe a little bit of fence, and it also gives it like a whole more variation. And to decorate the ground around it, you can either use podzol or coarse dirt. which is a really neat way to decorate it, and also a bunch of flowers and fern and grass all around. And if you want your vines to grow as a certain height, you can always put string on the height of the vine that you want. Press shift and there you go. This if this is the height, it will not grow more than that because there's a string under it. And you can barely see the string, which is really good. And this was the tip for the custom trees. Moving on to the next one, which is a really interesting method that I found out. And if you want to place like a storage system, which is a bunch of chests like this, and if you were to put a high stock of chests, like one on top of each other, like 16 or something like that, if you don't know how to reach the upper ones, in the corners you can place water source blocks on the corner of chests. And since chests don't take a whole block, they have like a little gap between them. You can phase between them and touch the water, which means you can surf and float up. And from that angle, you can float up and reach other chests like this. And this is a really good trick, but most people right now just use the automatic storage systems, which you can literally just flick a lever and give you. This is a old-fashioned one. Moving on to the next one is making bushes. Uh, Bushes are basically just like the custom tree. You can mix up a whole bunch of leaf blocks, and if you can get your hands on a custom tree, custom heads, you can put them and they'd look like berries or something like that. That was a normal one. And moving on to the next one, I have a really neat way of decorating a chair, which is um which is also putting banners as cushions. As you can see here, to place like cushions like this, you can dig a block and place a banner, and then place your oak stairs or whatever, and like that, it has a little bit of the banner like visible on the oak stair, which makes it look a little bit like a cushion. That's a really neat way of decorating your cushions or decorating your seats in your living room. And this method of decorating a chair also contains it, which is right here. So how you can make this chair is place a banner, like we've seen, place an oak stair over it so it looks like a cushion, and make handles where you can put your hands on using trapdoors. And you can use like a back seat using a spruce door. And you can also bring another banner and shift and place it on the door. And there you go. That's a really cool way of making a chair because it's really decorative with a lot of things in it. And if you don't want the cushion, you can always put another thing, which is a minecart, which makes it actually functional, and you can actually sit in it using the minecart. Although you don't have to move it too much or it will get out of place. So you can either place the cushions or place a minecart to sit in it, or don't place anything at all. Whatever you fancy. So this was for the chairs, and moving on to the next one, we have a decorative shelf. This is a futuristic one, and how it's made is actually making your walls 2 blocks thick, and you can place bookshelves, which is like at the level of your walls, and you can place quartz stairs and slabs as a futuristic way of making a shelf. You can place it right here. 2 shelves facing this way, and a quartz slab, and from there you can make like a swirling look for it. And at the top you can place a flower pot or whatever you want to place. But this is a really neat way of decorating a shelf for a futuristic house or a modern build or anything. This shelf is really useful other than using the wooden cabin that we use for our wooden houses. And that's it for this trick. And this one is a bit of a weird one, and ignore the outside look for the house. This is just for demonstration. And what you can use, as you can see here, it's pretty creepy, is using paintings as walls or flooring. If you can make a custom map, and as you can see that if you get an empty map, once you locate a place with an empty map, a normal zoomed in map is 162 blocks by 162, so it's a square. So if you can place blocks and decorate it, and here I am, I made this face right here, although it is out of the place that I wanted it to be, but you get the idea. You can decorate these 126 blocks by 126 blocks and make them like a wall block, and you can use that. And if you made a map and you don't know how to take another map like it, you can take empty maps, take the map that you want to replicate, and put 8 empty maps around it, which gives you 9 maps of the same map that you had, which is a way of replicating it. So if you don't like the wall block that you have, you can place an item frame anywhere you want and place the map that you want. And there you go, it's like this. And here's the face that I made. And you can make a bunch of maps that are connected to make a certain pattern or something like that. And you get the idea that you can use paintings as walls or flooring using item frames. Moving on to the next one is a bathroom design. So there are a bunch of tricks that I want to point out here, and the first one is using the kill block as a flooring block. It produces a really nice pattern and a whole bunch next to each other, and it makes for a really good block as flooring for a bathroom. And the toilet. Anyways, moving on from the toilet, here's a sink design, and you can use it like this by waterlogging a backward stair and 2 iron trapdoors running into it. Of course, these are powered using redstone, and you can use a tripwire hook or a lever to make it look like a tap. And a bath design by waterlogging 6 stairs running into each other, producing a square shape, and this could be like a bath. And this is a shower design, a small shower, and you can use like an iron trapdoor under it, a black block, to make it like the sink. And this is it for these tricks. And moving on to the next one is carpets. Carpets are a really neat way of decorating your house, like a flat area or something that you or in the middle of the house. You can use carpets to decorate it, and using just the carpet, the red carpet or any color of carpet like this, it is okay, but you can mix textures together. So you can either use red wool, or in case we are using the red color here, and concrete powder and the wool block and the carpet together makes a good mixture together. And if you also, this is another trick to hide your lighting, you can have this, maybe I have this 4x4 area that I want it to be a carpet. So you can just mess around with where you want the blocks, and you can take also and mix around the red wool. and you can take glowstone and fill the other places. And on top of that glowstone, you can put red carpet, which still produces the lighting effect, and also gives the carpet some depth. And it looks really nice, and you can either have an outline of carpet and mixing wool blocks and concrete powder, or you can just scramble it around like this. They both look good. And this is it for all my 10 tips and tricks, and here's the face that I made. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found this video useful. And goodbye everyone, and see you next day.